Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today still we are going to continue with the liquid extraction equipment. So this topic we started last time, but today majorly we will talk about mechanically assisted liquid extraction equipments. So before this, in the last lecture are even before that, even in the second last lecture, we started with the discussion about liquid extraction, and you were just introduced with the basic terminology, the system, the mechanism, and some industrial application of this technique. And from the previous lecture, we discussed some equipment in which liquid extraction can be carried out majorly on a small scale, or where you need a small number of stages. So in that case, we discussed three, which involved like spray column, then there were a packed column for liquid extraction, and then tray column for liquid extraction. So all of those were studied in detail, but in all those, we discussed that we do not have any agitation mechanism. Only the liquids are entering and just moving in the counter current directions. Like in case of spray column, one is sprayed from the top and other from the bottom, and same happen in case of pack as well as in case of tray column. So these liquids move under the action of gravity. The heavier one will keep on moving downward, and the lighter one then will be just replaced with that, and lighter will move towards the top, and they come in contact with each other, either on the surface of trays or on the surface of the packing. But today the thing which we are going to discuss, that those equipment are not that efficient, and the reasons, that when you are not agitating the liquids which are coming in contact, so there will be not much mass transfer. So especially in some specific cases, you need it majorly that there should be some agitation. So let's talk about this, that what are those cases. As I said, that in all of the equipment which were discussed so far, majorly gravitational force was acting or helping you just to bring them in contact and move in opposite direction, and then get settled, like one lighter move towards the top and heavier move towards the bottom due to gravitational action. So this gravitational force are during this, when they are just moving in the opposite direction under the action of gravity, and they are coming in contact. So definitely there will be contact between the liquid, there will be mass transfer, and because a solvent has some affinity for some of the components present in the feed, so those will be transferred, but that is not sufficient, especially when there is not proper disturbance. And those cases which involve this case, like gravitational force did not help you sufficiently, those are majorly when interfacial tension is high, like on the surface of one, when one fluid is moving and that has high like surface tension, so it will not come in contact, much contact with the other liquid. It will try to stay away from that. As well, if liquid viscosities are high, that when their viscosities are high and you are not turbulating the fluid, so the contact or the mass transfer is limited in that case. As well, if density differences between the fluid are not different, like density difference are very low, so in that case, one problem is that it causes trouble to like get settled to different layers, one for extract and one for raffinate, as well as because their density difference is not like much or not big, so due to this reason they will just try to stay with each other and they will not get settled easily. So in all those cases, then you need some mechanical agitation, that we should provide some external force just to create agitation inside the liquid, so that they can just make mass transfer with each other, as well as they can get settled easily. So with this, what will happen when you are going to create some mechanical agitation, it will help you to increase their contact by providing more interfacial area. Just imagine that two liquids are just moving, and if just consider, for example, the flow is laminar, so you can think about it that there will be no agitation, no mixing between them. If they are just moving, one is moving downward, other is moving upward, and there will be some area where they will be contacting, but not much. But if you just change this liquid pattern to the, like from laminar, for example, to the turbulent, and in that case, that area or contact between the fluids increases, so that will help you to increase this mass transfer. So mass transfer resistance will decrease even if they have high interfacial tension and you are creating this agitation. That will help you as compared to the previous case to increase the mass transfer. So here we will talk about a number of equipment in which mechanical assistance is provided. So just before jumping towards those, this is some kind of equipment we have already seen in the previous lecture. So that was, I think, one of the equipment in which uh, there was something mechanical agitation was discussed at the start, but then we just jumped towards the spray column and all those other stuff. But let's go back to them. For example, if you remember that in pack column and like tray columns, you have this fluid flowing from top to bottom or from bottom to top. So in those cases, even in those kind of like column in which you have packing or tray, so some kind of agitation inside the liquid can be provided without changing much the assembly or the structure of the equipment. How we can provide that agitation? That is first one that can be like agitated. For example, you can develop some such a mechanism, and later we will look at that. That if we can oscillate, if we can just move these packing as well as the trays while keeping them inside the column, like not move to pull them out, just keeping them inside the column, and if you can vibrate them, for example, with the help of some mechanical equipment, so then that will help you to increase the agitation inside the liquid as well. The other is for example, you can just simply say bubbling of some fluid, and that fluid is here air. If we can just pulse or send pulses just to send something for a very short time. So what we can do, like this in this section, you can see that you can have some mechanism to send air inside the column. So there is some timer on which you fix, for example, for after 1 minute, for few seconds, you have to just flow the air and compressed air when you will just push it through this column. So when air will just pass through the column, you know that when you are bubbling, for example, air through some liquid column, it creates agitation inside the liquid, and that will help you to increase the contact between two liquids. So this is the simplest way which you can do without changing much the equipment. Just what you have to do is to build the equipment in similar way, either packing or plate, but this you have to push the air at high pressure through this equipment, and that will help you to increase the agitation. The other, as I told you, that you can just develop a mechanism to vibrate these packing or plates, and that will also increase the mass transfer between fluids. So these kind of equipment which we call like pulse perforated plate column. Perforated plate column, these tray column in which sieve trays are used, and they are pulsed with the air, like momentarily high pressure flow of the air through this column. So that has considerable application in nuclear industries, where if you are going for liquid liquefaction, so they are widely used. So this is something which we already have talked about, like play column or tray column, and if we have to increase the agitation, if you have to increase the mass transfer in those equipment, you can use this pulse is one of the way. But let's look here some other equipment which are totally built in a different ways as compared to the previous discussed equipment. So here the equipment which is which you will see majorly or major application, that is like installation of rotating elements on the shaft. For example, we can just put one shaft inside the whole column, and we can just install some rotating agitated. As in the previous lecture, you have seen that there can be different number of agitators can be used. So those agitating elements are just installed on the surface of shaft, and that when you will just rotate that shaft, that will be providing like agitation inside the liquid, or you can say it will be providing mixing between the two liquids. So for example, like we have like say in centrifugal pump, you know that there are impellers, and you have just connected that with the help of some shaft. When you just move that shaft, impeller helps you to just push the liquid to flow the liquid. So in this case, we will have just simple rotating elements, some kind of blades which are installed on the surface of just uh, mean shaft, and that when you will just move the shaft, it will help you to increase the agitation inside this. So throughout the column, we don't have like agitating elements. There will be agitating elements on some distance from each other. So in between the agitating elements, definitely when there is no agitation, that will be like called as a something, the settling zone. So for example, you can install a column of 2 or 3 meter height. So inside that you can like put some number of these rotating elements, 5 to 10 inside the throughout the column, and later we will talk about this, that what should be their like diameter of those rotating elements, or in which area they will be. So there are some guidelines. So they will help you to mix them. Then when they just pass through one rotating element, after that liquid will have some time where there is no much agitation, then there will be some settling, like heavier will try to move down, lighter will go upward, and so on. So this agitation, one way is to like to rotate with the help of agitators which are installed on the shaft. So other the method, and we will look at one of the such kind of equipment in which this agitation can also be like introduced with the help of some moving plate. As I was telling you that if you have packing or plate tower, and you can install such a mechanism in which you can create vibration, or you can move the trays, so that will help you to increase like agitation. So there is one type of equipment which is used for liquid extraction, in which with the help of reciprocating motion, we just move plates throughout the column. So they will be just moving upward, downward, so that will help also to create agitation and increase mixing. So first type of equipment which involve this mechanical agitation is called like this Scheibel column. So this scientist, he proposed overall three type of designs, and we can say that actually after proposing the first design for this kind of equipment, later he just improved the design by looking at some of the problem faced by the previous design. So in this first kind of design, he just developed a simple column in which rotating shaft. For example, here in this diagram, you can see that this is the whole column, and there are entries for liquid getting in and out. As well, there was a rotating shaft inside this vertical shaft. On a vertical shaft, then there were rotating elements or blades were installed. For example, here mentioned at various places. And other, he also introduced these blades inside a column which was already packed column. So that is wire mesh packing. So packing were already there, and in between the packing, after some distance, these rotating elements he introduced. So overall, this column was named as unbaffled flat-bladed turbine type agitator. We will look at next design, second design, that contains some baffles inside the equipment. So here in this equipment, this was the simplest, which involves some packing and rotating elements. So when liquids are just moving through this column, and if you are rotating, definitely these will be agitation zone or the mixing zone, and when they will just pass through this packing, then they will try to settle. So it will be called as settling zone. So then at the end of the day, lighter will lead from the top and heavier leads from the bottom. So in this, as already mentioned, that knitted wire mesh packing. So purpose of those packing was like to prevent back mixing. As already we discussed this, that back mixing or mixing in the horizontal direction, that just reverse the process. We have discussed this about this in the last lecture. So that was one of the major problem of spray columns. So then those spray column were just modified with the help of packing, like they were converted into the pack column, so that pack mixing can be avoided, or mixing in the horizontal direction. Because what we need that whenever any, for example, here inside this, any mass transfer has taken place, then lighter should move towards the top and heavier go just downward. But if these will start moving towards the light walls of the equipment, then they will be reversing the action, because maybe then there is a different concentration gradient, and this mass which is transferred to the, for example, lighter, that can go back to the heavier and so on. So in order to avoid this, then packing was introduced. So this also helps those packing in this kind of equipment to avoid like mixing. So one of the requirement already, you know, when there are the packing, so they should be wetted. One of the liquids which you are bringing here, either feed or the solvent, that should be continuously flowing through this, and other is usually dispersed in the form of droplets, so that we can make better contact. So here in this diagram you can clearly see that this is the first Scheibel design, in which just there were a simple column containing packing as well. Then there is a mixing element, and rotating blades are there. So what he observed, for example, if you can see in this column, if its diameter, if you just increase the diameter of the column, and majorly if it is greater than 1 meter, so there will be some problem. The problem will be like if any liquid is just coming in contact with this plate, when it just reaches here, either from the bottom or from the top, that will be mixed. Those liquid stream will be mixed together. But if the column diameter is very high, and most of the liquid then can pass or bypass this, it can just move away or escape from the sides. So when it is escaping from the sides, then it will be like there will be no mass transfer, and efficiency will be like low for the equipment. So in order to just avoid this problem, what he did, then he introduced some modification inside the equipment, so that if column diameter is increased above 1 meter, then you can just bring some of the liquid which is escaping towards this rotating element with the help of baffles. So maybe you are already aware about the baffle, like I think you are studying heat transfer. So here the baffle are somehow of similar kind, but there you usually have segmented baffle, like some segment of the baffle is like missing in order to allow the like liquid to flow. So somehow here we are not putting baffle throughout the equipment, we will be putting in some of the segments, and due to this he introduced outer and inner horizontal annular baffle. So outer, like you can see that here in this diagram, I think they already mentioned that. So okay, if you didn't just look, outer mean on outside of this tie rods, there are tie rods, and if you just in some of the equipment they are partial, and in some of they are like full. In next diagram I will show you that sometimes just baffles are complete, they are just moving, are extended up to the wall. So what will happen if any liquid is just trying to escape from here, it will be just redirected from here to come back towards this mixing zone. As well, there are inner baffle like on the inner side of each tie rod. So they just allow you, help you to increase the mixing and to bring the liquid towards the mixing zone. So in this diagram, you can see, as I said, that like outer here are outer horizontal baffle, they are just extended towards the like up to the wall, so just try, any liquid shouldn't try to escape from here. And then they are inner, inside the mixing zone also are the baffle, like these are the inner side baffle, like if any liquid just then try to escape from here, it will just be not allowed. Yes, some liquid can come from here, it will just reach, and then you will bring it back to the mixing zone, so on. So this was just modification in the initial design, which don't have such kind of modification. Like in this animation, small animation, you can see the internal, like there are horizontal outer baffle, they just outer are with which are fixed with the wall, and then there are inner are just in the surrounding of this rotating element. So for some system, like as I already mentioned, that there are in these columns there are like rotating element, and in the first design there were rotating element and wire mesh packing. But in the second design, he also did some modification and introduced some of the baffle to just redirect the liquid towards the mixing zone to increase the efficiency. And especially in case of large size column, this is mandatory to just avoid the escape of the liquid from the sides. So but these kind of wire mesh, they can be removed in those systems in which if interfacial tensions are high between the liquids. So then just you can remove those packing, and but we will have this mixing zone, and overall between the mixing zone liquid will try to just settle down and so on. So then there another problem appeared, and he further made some modification inside the design, although that is quite similar to the previous ones, but there was small modification, like for example in first two design which we have seen, so they didn't permit the removal of agitating elements. If you just have to go for inspection or maintenance of the rotating element, this shaft and rotating blade, so you cannot remove them separately, because in their surrounding, for example if there is a packing, so there is no way to just remove this part only. So in these as well, you can see that in the surrounding of rotating element, if you just gonna just move it out, so there are the packing, sorry, these baffle surrounding it, so you cannot just pull it out. So then if there was some problem in some kind of equipment, and if you have to go for maintenance, so then there was always need to remove all the internal each and every part of the equipment outside, and then you can just fix the problem. So what he did is just to introduced this third design in which removal of this agitating assembly. So this was designed in such a way, and these all other elements were fixed in such a way that you can increase the mass transfer as well. You can just remove this agitating assembly, like which is just rotating element and the shaft that can be just uh, pulled away from this equipment. And especially in large size diameter column, this was mandatory, because if column diameter will keep on increasing, definitely it's internal, like if there are the packing and all other like internal, they will be huge in number, and it will be difficult to just uh, keep everything out and then bring it back. So this was the modification. Agitator assembly in this case was easy to remove, because he made a change in design. It has a smaller diameter than the opening in the inner baffle. Like overall, like here, if we have to just move it out, so there will be some sufficient space. And he said that its diameter was, or overall the area when it is covering, for example here now almost this area. So what he did, he just maybe reduced the length of these as well, the length of this, so that you can just bring them out without disturbing the all other parts. So these were just three same kind of designs in which you can see there is a rotating element, and his initial design was with the packing. Most of his design involved the packing, but packing just can be avoided if you have some kind of uh, equipment in which or application in which interfacial tension is high. But let's look at some other kind of equipment, and this rotating disc contactor we call it. So this is some of the widely used equipment, and this is the equipment from which we started the lecture about discussion of liquid equipment in the last lecture. In this here, that is somehow you can see actually it's construction is simplest, and through this it is widely used as well, efficient equipment. So in this, what is there inside this, there are horizontal discs which are mounted simply inside the equipment. You can see that there is a shaft which is rotating element, and on this there are like simple horizontal disc. So when liquid, you will be just rotating and liquid will be coming in contact, they will just mix. So in this, the ratio of this diameter to the column diameter is 0.6. So overall, suppose the diameter of column is 1 meter. So the diameter of this rotating element or this disc which is mounted on this like shaft that will be only 0.6 meter. So overall you can say that mostly 60% of the column you are just mixing inside the 60% of the column, and then definitely still 40% is left over on the side. So in order to avoid the liquid just to pass through or escape from this, there is some other arrangement for this, which we call it like on its wall. So there are stator rings. Stator ring is something just simply like such kind of ring. Overall, it will be, if you just imagine the three-dimensional column, and inside the column, if we just install this ring, so in between the rings, these are actually the parts of the rings. So on the both side, for example, this is one side and other this one side. So in between there is this gap. So inside the gap you install this rotating element. So then there is very small space between rotating element and this, so which will help you just avoid the escaping of the liquid from this without coming in contact with the mixer. So I will just come back to the point that these are discs which are mounted on this vertical plate. So spacing between them, if we have to decide, so in these kind of equipment, because all DC are widely used and they have developed some correlation for these, that is like height between these number of this, so that will be equal to 0.13 into diameter of the tower power 0.7. So if you have to decide what should be the height, so that can be calculated with this. If we know the diameter of the tower, so we can find, and then we can install, for example, if we know the total height of the column, so we can install number of these throughout the column. So in this, as mentioned, that 60% is covered with these trays, and then in the surrounding there are stator ring, and you can see that there is still space between stator ring and this rotating assembly. So due to this reason, in this equipment, if we can just open it from the top, and this rotating assembly can be just removed out for some fixation or if there is some problem. So and the second better option in this is like at the top of this you can see there is a variable speed driver. Like here we have variable speed motor. Its speed can be adjusted, and when you can adjust the speed, with the help of that you will be just controlling the mixing. And you know that when we do rigorous mixing or mixing on a wide scale, this lead to the small droplets. So if you remember in the last lecture we discussed this problem, that when droplet size is like this below 1.5 micrometer, that helps you to sometimes form some kind of problem there was, and that was formation of something, if you remember, I just forgot.
Emulsion.
Yeah, good, thank you. So there was emulsion formation. So if droplet size decrease to very low level, so in case of emulsion, then you cannot just separate them and you cannot settle it out. So because at the end of the day, we need lighter liquid to just leave from the top and heavier from the bottom if there is emulsion formation. So like any liquid leaving from the bottom, that will contain the lighter inside this, because that is trapped in the form of light emulsified droplets. So in this case, this is easy to control that, because we can just control the speed of this equipment. So here, I mean, it is another detailed diagram about this, that you have something like in this. Okay, although it has some problem with this, because in this diagram you can see that you cannot remove the assembly. But by the way, this is from one of the company. I will just tell you at the end its name. I have taken mostly diagram from their website. So this is their design. They design such kind of equipment. Although in this kind of equipment, it is not easy to remove the rotating element, because stator are larger in length and will not be easy. But still, okay, it has such kind of internal, like there is rotating element, and in the wall there are stator. So best design it in which stator length is low, and you can easily just remove this shaft assembly. So then there was another person. They introduced some modification the equipment which we already discussed is RDC, rotating disc contactor. So this was called asymmetric rotating disc contactor. So as its name indicates, it is not symmetric. Somehow we can say that, like in the last equipment, you can see that rotating element is inside or in between the like stators, and it's just length from both sides of the wall is like distance from the both sides of the wall is equal. But in this kind of equipment, they introduce something called vertical baffle. Like here you can see in this diagram, there is a vertical baffle, and so when you install this vertical baffle, actually it create two zones inside the equipment, and those zones we can call them contact zone and the transport zone. So they also call it like this settling zone. So inside this here there is no mixing, just any liquid which reach to the top. Maybe this if that is heavy, that will try to settle down and come down from this path, as well if there is some lighter that will try to just read towards the top. And in the other part, which is mostly 3/4 of the equipment, in that there is a mixing to have like rotating elements, and that will be the contact zone. So those are introduced inside this zone. They just come in contact with each other. So they will definitely like when coming in contact, some of the settling will take place here. Definitely heavier will try to go down as well, either will just try to move up. But these rotating elements are large in number, and there will be mostly mixing, there will be no settling. And from then, in this zone, which is the transport zone or the settling zone, they can just settle out. So at the end, then you have this transport zone here, and settling in terms of this, like lighter will try to move towards top and heavier towards the bottom. This I'm calling as a settling. So then at the bottom we will have heavy, and at the top lighter. So these are also used in some, but the major one which we have just seen in the last one is used. It is also just modification of that equipment. So here it has some advantages to do with this, like you can reduce the back mixing, because separating zone and the settling compartments are separate. This is just complete mixing zone, so only mixing will be taking place, and all overall on the shaft there are the rotators, and it everything will be just moved toward or come in contact with each other, and then they settle down in transport and settling zone. So I think this is the last type. So in between, if you will just go through the text, there are 2-3 other type of equipment. They are also mentioned, I think 2 other type of equipment. So they are somehow, one was very close to the Scheibel column, and other one is just after this. I will talk about that. So that is, I didn't mention here, but they are quite close to other. Due to this, I have skipped, and I brought here all those which are different from each other, as you can see. So this is called Karr reciprocating plate column. As from the start, when I said that this mechanical agitation can be created, like either by using some rotating element through the equipment, or just to other ways to just vibrate or rotate, like reciprocate the plates inside the column. So definitely this is dedicated for the plate column. If you have plate column, and you can just like reciprocate them. So in this kind of equipment, rather than you use complete light shaft and impeller, just here is he devised a mechanism that you can just use perforated plates, which are already used like plate columns inside the plate column. So just they can be moved up and down with the help of some assembly, like you can install here this kind of equipment, in which then when you will just moving it up and down, it will just create agitation inside the liquid and help you to increase the contact between them. So overall, as per experience, this kind of the unit use less energy as compared to the previous ones, which we have seen that there is a like shaft and the rotating elements. So in that case, actually you need more energy, because more number of rotators if you just install, so there will be more like mixing of the liquid will be needed in that case. And when you are just when handling large amount of the liquid, you are just rotating it, moving it, you need more energy as compared to that. In this case, energy requirement is low, and it also provides sufficiently good efficiency for like this liquid extraction. So in this case, although we have talked about the spacing between the plates earlier, like spacing between the plates is different for these liquid extraction column as compared to the absorption or distillation. So in this case, you can see that this spacing is very close, only 2.5 centimeter to even 5 centimeter in this case, if you are using it for reciprocating. But before this, when we discussed simple plate columns for LLE, even there was something around, I think, 10 to 15 centimeter, the spacing between the plates. But here they are very close space, so that you can just increase the agitation here, you can increase the turbulence and increase the like this overall mixing and avoid the axial mixing, because if there is a large distance between the trays, and then liquid will again try to escape towards the walls, and that will promote the problem of axial mixing. So in this kind of equipment, which is Karr reciprocating plate, to perforated plates which are used, they have usually large holes. Already we know that for liquid extraction, the holes on the trays are large in diameter as compared to the applications of distillation and absorption. So their like diameter is 9 by 16, and they have a high hole area, which is typically 58% of the like tray or the plate is perforated or that contains hole. So central shaft, which supports both sets of plates, is reciprocating by a drive at the top. You just pulsate it, you are just reciprocating it, moving up and down. So there is some shaft which is just connected with these main trays through some assembly, and you are just moving up and down this shaft, and it will help you to rotate, just move up and down the plates. So these column are especially useful for bioseparation, and the reason is because in these kind of column, mostly residence time is reduced or low, and they can also handle those systems that tend to emulsify and feed if it contains particulates. Here especially I will try to explain this point of particulates. If there are some kind of particles inside, and if you are using any of the other equipment which we have just seen, for example, if there are the particle and you are rotating with the help of blades, so what will happen, those blades will try to provide some kind of centrifugal force to those particles, and they will just try to move towards the uh, walls of the column. So that will be like, if there are the particulates inside that, in bioseparation we have. So instead of coming in contact or between contact between the liquid, those particles are just moved toward the like sides of the column. But inside this, if there are the particle, and just imagine that you are moving something like some plate, if you just put some particle on its surface, so what will happen if you will just pull like away that plate up or down, so those particles will be just moved up. So in that case, they are just not directed towards the walls, as it happened in case of like those rotating elements which are installed with the shaft, and they are rotating because they provide usually centrifugal force to these kind of particles. So that problem can be avoided in these kind of column, and due to this reason, in bioseparation application, these are widely used, this kind of equipment. So here there is a brief comparison between various equipment which we have talked so far. So uh, starting from something Lurky Tower, this was some equipment in which you have mixer and settler, from where the initial lecture, the first lecture was started. Then there are these pulse pack and pulse sieve tray, like you have sieve tray and pack tray, but you can provide the pulse of the like for example air through that. And then these are Scheibel column, RDC, ARD, And as I mentioned that there are two other, yes, one is Coney that is quite close to the Scheibel column with some modification, and this Grazer that is quite close to the Karr. This kind of equipment is vertical, but this Grazer kind of equipment is horizontal equipment. So they are just close to each other in design. So their maximum combined liquid throughput, like per unit volume, how much liquid can handle as well the diameter of the columns are given here, and these are based on various like commercial facilities which are used for these liquid extraction. So I mean these kind of equipment, or if you are going to select suppose one kind of equipment, so like they can help you to get like maximum diameter, how much it will help you to get efficient liquid extraction. So then there are other some advantage and disadvantage between these are also provided. So I will just advise you kindly go through this table, just quickly read them once. Later it is from your textbook as well, I will share these slides. So from here you will see that all of these equipment, none of these is like perfect. Various equipment, they have various advantage as well as disadvantage. So for example, here when we were looking at today majorly mechanical agitating equipment, so they have, like as we have seen, or we were looking for good dispersion, they have their cost is reasonable, they can handle multiple stages. Later in design you will select the stages or calculate, and then you design the equipment. So they are good for that as well. Relatively easily we can scale up to go for large scale, but limited throughput with small density differences as well. They cannot handle like emulsifying system, and the reason is like when emulsion is formed, separation become difficult as well. Means some high flow rate cannot be handled with these, because you will need more power for them rotating, and it will be more costly. So each of these has some advantage and disadvantage. So let's quickly look at this diagram, which is figure 8.8. If you have to select one of the equipment, like these are advantage and disadvantage, but that is very helpful guide for you. For example, you are going to design some equipment of LLE, so how you have to select. I will just quickly go through 2-3 points, and later also kindly read it just for your information. So if your process is like initially small volume, so either small volume, if yes, then you can go for simple separator involving like centrifugal extractors. So if it is large volume, you have to handle large volume equipment. So in that case, then like, because he said no small volume, its mean volume is large, but then there is emulsion formation can take place, and there is a poor separation. If yes, then simple separator and centrifugal extractor, these RDCA, RD are used. But if there is these problem didn't exist, then you will just jump toward the next case, that okay, this problem did not exist, but now then classification is based on number of stage requirement. So either less than 5 or greater than 5, and so on. So if you have data about your system and you are going to design, then you can follow these steps, and then finally can select some equipment which will help you, or which will be more suitable for your application. So thank you so much. And with this, yes, overall quickly I've discussed here like mechanical agitating equipments in detail today we have discussed, and also there is a table about advantage and disadvantage and selection of the equipment based on this diagram which is given at the end. So uh, with this we are just done with this, and next lecture will be about the design. So we are thankful to this company, Coach Modular Process System, for providing these some of the diagrams which are like quite helpful to understand the mechanism and the equipment information. So thank you, and